First Contact's Deception. Commander Sarah Chen stood at the viewport of the CSS Brighton, watching the gleaming spires of the Galactic Council headquarters rise from the surface of Centauri Prime. The station's crystalline architecture caught the light of 3 suns, creating rainbow cascades that would have left her breathless 6 months ago. Now she was too focused on maintaining humanity's greatest deception to appreciate the view. Commander, the Council is ready to receive Earth's annual technology assessment, her eye assistant, HFY, announced through her neural implant. The AI's voice was deliberately designed to sound slightly synthetic, one of countless small details crafted to maintain the illusion of Earth's technological inferiority. Sarah straightened her deliberately outdated uniform, complete with physical rank insignias instead of the holographic ones humans actually used. Time to put on another show, she muttered, checking that her crude tablet computer was visible in her breast pocket. The device was purely for show. Her real computer was a quantum-linked network woven into her nervous system. The Brighton itself was a masterwork of deception. From the outside, it appeared to be a crude fusion-powered vessel with obvious welding seams and external heat radiators. In reality, the ship's hull was a single crystalline structure with computational capabilities that exceeded most alien quantum mainframes. The radiators were actually field projectors for the ship's phantom drive system. As Sarah walked through the Council Station's corridors, she noted the familiar looks of pity and condescension from the alien representatives. The Vorax delegation, tall arthropoids with iridescent carapaces, actually chittered in amusement as she passed. Their own ships were powered by artificial quantum singularities. Or so they thought. Humanity had moved beyond such primitive energy sources decades ago. Sarah entered the Grand Chamber, where representatives from over 200 spacefaring civilizations sat in tiered rows that reached toward the vaulted ceiling. The air hummed with translation fields and data exchanges. Primitive ones, by human standards, but she made sure to wince slightly at the overwhelming technological atmosphere. The representative from Earth may approach, announced High Counselor Zixtal, his crystalline form refracting light in complex patterns. The Luminate were among the oldest spacefaring races and among the most condescending toward younger species. Sarah activated her tablet with deliberate clumsiness, bringing up carefully doctored statistics about Earth's technological development. Honorable Council, she began, letting a slight tremor enter her voice. Earth is pleased to report a 3% increase in fusion efficiency this cycle. We have also successfully replicated basic inertial dampening technology, though we still struggle with acceleration greater than 10 Gs. The chamber filled with the gentle murmur of beings trying to hide their amusement. Sarah caught phrases like quaint and still using fusion in various alien tongues. Her neural implant was translating over 40 languages simultaneously, but she maintained the fiction that she relied on the Council's translation field. Most impressive for your species, Zixtal said, managing to make the words sound both generous and dismissive. Though we note with some concern that Earth has been expanding its patrol fleet, 16 new vessels, by our count. Sarah allowed herself to flush slightly. Merely replacements for aging ships, Honorable One. We've had to decommission several vessels that date back to our first warp flights. The truth, hidden beneath layers of quantum encryption and holographic camouflage, was very different. Earth's real fleet numbered in the thousands. With technology it would make even the Luminate's crystalline ships look primitive. The 16 visible ships were merely the latest additions to humanity's elaborate smokescreen. A new voice cut through the chamber. And what of the anomalous energy readings our sensors detected in the Proxima system last month? This came from Ambassador Krell of the Vorax hegemony, his mandibles clicking in what Sarah recognized as suspicious patterns. She was prepared for this. Yes. One of our fusion containment tests went slightly awry. We're still learning to properly regulate the magnetic fields. She pulled up a carefully crafted incident report. I have the full details here, though I'm afraid they're rather technical by our standards. The insertion of "by our standards" was calculated to make the Council dismiss the incident. After all, what could be technically challenging about primitive fusion power? In reality, the energy spike had come from testing a new type of quantum slip drive, but the Council would never suspect that. As Sarah fielded more questions, each answer carefully crafted to maintain humanity's facade of technological inferiority, her neural implant was simultaneously coordinating with Earth's hidden fleet. The real CSS Brighton, the one concealed beneath quantum camouflage several light-years away, was running combat simulations with capabilities that would shock the Council into silence. One final matter, Zixtal announced as the session drew to a close. The Council notes that Earth has yet to accept our offers of technological assistance. While we respect your species' pride, surely you must see the benefits of accepting guidance from more advanced civilizations. This was always the most delicate part of the deception. Earth had to refuse assistance without appearing ungrateful or suspicious. Sarah bowed her head in seemingly humble respect. "We are deeply honored by the Council's generous offers," she said carefully. "However, our people believe that understanding technology through our own development is crucial to using it responsibly. We hope the Council can respect our cultural preference for self-reliance, even if it means slower progress." The Council members exchanged looks of mixed pity and approval, exactly as intended. They saw a primitive species clinging to pride rather than a technological giant hiding in plain sight. As Sarah left the chamber, her neural implant picked up a priority message from Earth Command. She maintained her carefully measured pace until she reached the privacy of her quarters aboard the decoy Brighton. "Report," she subvocalized once the room's quantum privacy field was active. The message was brief but alarming. Vorax fleet movements detected near Proxima Colony. Pattern suggests attack preparations. Maintain cover or reveal capabilities. Awaiting your assessment. Sarah closed her eyes, knowing that humanity's great deception might soon face its greatest test. The choice between maintaining the facade and protecting human lives would have to be made, and she wasn't sure which option carried the greater risk. The Proxima incident. The Proxima colony gleamed like a jewel against the red dwarf's dim light, its biodomes and orbital rings a testament to humanity's supposed primitive engineering. Sarah watched the feed from her quarters aboard the real CSS Brighton, now safely cloaked behind quantum fields 50,000 kilometers from the colony. Vorax fleet update, Araya announced. 27 warships detected on approach vector. Energy signatures suggest Dreadnought-class vessels. Their weapons are powered but not primed. Sarah's fingers danced through holographic displays only she could see. "Show me their formation analysis." The space before her filled with tactical projections. The Vorax ships were arranged in a classic pincer formation, if you were limited to conventional space warfare. To humanity's true capabilities, they might as well have painted targets on their hulls. Commander, her XO, James Rivera, spoke from the doorway. "Earth Command is waiting for your recommendation. Do we maintain the deception or protect the colony openly?" Sarah studied the tactical display. The Vorax were being clever, positioning their fleet so that any response would have to come through predictable vectors. Again, if you were limited to normal space, their energy signatures were carefully calibrated to appear non-threatening to primitive sensors while masking their true combat capabilities. "How many civilians in the colony?" she asked, though she already knew the answer. 800,000, Rivera replied, "including families." The numbers hung heavy in the air. Earth's deception had protected humanity for decades, allowing them to develop their technology without interference or threat from the galactic community. That deception had prevented wars, saved countless lives. But now it might cost 800,000 souls. "Command is concerned about the bigger picture," Rivera continued. "If we reveal ourselves to save Proxima, we lose our strategic advantage. The galaxy will know our true capabilities." Sarah's neural implant pulsed with incoming data. The Vorax fleet was accelerating, their formation tightening. Their public channels were broadcasting peaceful intentions, a standard patrol route, they claimed. Their encrypted channels, which they thought unbreakable, told a different story. They're planning to claim it was an accident, Sarah said, reading the decoded transmissions. A tragic containment failure in their quantum cores. By the time any investigation happens, Proxima will be a debris field. They'll offer condolences, reparations even. Classic Vorax strategy, Rivera nodded. They've done it before to other emerging civilizations. Remove potential competitors before they become threats. Sarah stood, her decision crystallizing. Send to Earth Command. The deception ends today. I take full responsibility for what follows. She switched to fleet channels. All ships, this is Commander Chen. Execute Operation Daybreak. Emergence protocols are in effect. Protection of Proxima colony is primary objective. Around the colony, space itself seemed to shiver. Where moments before there had been empty void, dozens of ships shimmered into view. Not the crude patrol vessels the galaxy knew about, but sleek predators of crystalline alloys and quantum-engineered fields. The real ships of Earth's fleet. The Brighton's own camouflage dissolved, revealing its true form. A kilometer-long vessel of impossible grace, its hull gleaming with embedded computational matrices and weapon arrays that defied conventional physics. On the Vorax flagship, alarms screamed as their sensors registered the impossible. Where their intelligence had shown a defenseless colony protected by a handful of primitive ships, now stood a fleet that exceeded their worst nightmares. This is Commander Sarah Chen of the Earth Defense Fleet. Sarah broadcast on all frequencies. Your encrypted communications regarding the planned destruction of our colony have been intercepted and decoded. Withdraw immediately or face the consequences of your actions. The Vorax fleet froze, caught between their battle plans and the sudden revelation that their prey was actually a technological giant. Their formation wavered as individual captains processed the shock. They're spinning up their quantum cores, Air reported. Weapons systems activating. They appear to be executing their standard overwhelming force protocol. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. As expected, they can't afford to retreat without confirming their suspicions about our capabilities. All ships, execute containment pattern Delta. Non-lethal responses only. We're making a point, not starting a war. The Earth fleet moved with impossible precision, their quantum slip drives allowing them to dance through space in ways that violated everything the galaxy thought they knew about physics. Ships appeared and disappeared, their phantom drive systems making a mockery of conventional tactical doctrine. The Vorax opened fire, their quantum-tipped missiles and particle beams lashing out at where Earth ships had been microseconds before. But they were fighting shadows, their advanced targeting systems confused by technology they couldn't understand. First demonstration, Sarah ordered. Show them why humanity chose to hide. The Brighton's primary weapon array came online. Not the crude laser banks visible to outside observers, but something far more sophisticated. Space itself seemed to twist as quantum fields manipulated the fundamental forces holding matter together. 3 Vorax ships simply stopped. Not destroyed, not damaged, but frozen in a bubble of altered space-time, where the flow of time itself had been reduced to a near standstill. Second demonstration. Sarah continued, her voice calm. Target their flagship's weapon systems, surgical precision only. Points of light flickered across the Brighton's hull as its quantum field projectors engage. The Vorax flagship's weapon arrays simply ceased to exist, their component atoms gently disassembled and dispersed into space. The remaining Vorax ships began to retreat, their formation dissolving into chaos. Their encrypted channels were filled with panic, not just at the loss of their weapons, but at the implications of facing a civilization that could manipulate matter and space-time itself. Hold position. Sarah ordered her fleet. Let them run. Our point is made. As the Vorax fleet flowed into hyperspace, Sarah opened a channel to Earth Command. Proxima is secure, but our deception is over. Recommend immediate implementation of Protocol Sunrise. It's time to show the galaxy who we really are. The response was immediate. Understood, Commander. Well done. The diplomatic corps is already preparing for the fallout. Report to Centauri Prime immediately. The Council will have questions. Sarah looked out at the stars, knowing that the galaxy would never be the same after today. Humanity's greatest deception was over, but perhaps their greatest challenges were just beginning. Unveiling the veil. The Grand Chamber of the Galactic Council had never been so silent. 2,000 representatives from across the galaxy sat in stunned silence as they watched the sensor recordings from Proxima. The image of Earth ships phasing through space-time, manipulating matter at a fundamental level, and stopping time itself played on endless repeat on the massive holographic displays. Sarah stood at the center of the chamber, no longer maintaining her carefully crafted pose of technological inferiority. Her primitive tablet was gone, replaced by the subtle shimmer of quantum interfaces only she could see. Her outdated uniform had been replaced by the true dress of Earth's fleet, a sleek suit of smart fabric that shifted between patterns of deep blue and black. As you can see, she said into the silence, Earth has not been entirely forthcoming about our technological capabilities. The chamber erupted, hundreds of species trying to speak at once, their translation fields creating a cacophony of overlapping voices. High Counselor Zixtel's crystalline form pulsed with colors that indicated extreme agitation. Silence. The Luminate leader's voice cut through the chaos. His crystalline form had shifted from its usual elegant configuration into something sharper, more aggressive. Commander Chen, or whatever your real title may be, you will explain this deception immediately. Sarah nodded, her posture relaxed but alert. My title is accurate, though its meaning may differ from what you assumed. Earth has maintained this deception for a simple reason. Survival. She gestured and new holographic displays appeared, showing historical records of how the galaxy had treated emerging civilizations. We observed how advanced civilizations typically interact with primitive ones. Technology is shared, but always with strings attached. Trade deals are signed, always favoring the established powers. Cultural exchange occurs, usually resulting in the younger civilization being absorbed into the dominant culture. This is the natural order, a Vorax representative chittered, though his usual arrogance was dampened by the recent memory of his fleet's humiliation. The strong guide the weak. No, Sarah countered. The strong exploit the weak. We chose a different path. We developed our technology in secret, allowing us to advance without external pressure or interference. Today's incident at Proxima forced our hand, but make no mistake, this revelation was inevitable. Earth is now ready to take its place as an equal in the galactic community. Equal. The word echoed from multiple species. You speak of equality after decades of deception. We speak of equality precisely because we have seen how this council treats those it considers inferior, Sarah replied. The Vorax fleet at Proxima was not an isolated incident. We have documented 372 similar accidents involving emerging civilizations in the past century alone. She let that sink in before continuing. Earth comes to you now not seeking approval or acceptance, but offering a choice. We can be allies in building a more equitable galaxy, or we can be a reminder that technological superiority is often an illusion. The chamber erupted again, but this time the tone was different. Species that had suffered under the dominance of the advanced civilizations were suddenly seeing new possibilities. The power dynamics that had governed galactic politics for millennia were shifting before their eyes. You dare threaten this council? Zixtal's voice carried both anger and fear. Not a threat, Sarah corrected. An opportunity. Earth's technology could transform the galaxy. Clean energy, medical advances, faster than light travel that doesn't damage space-time. We're prepared to share it all, but as equals, not masters or servants. A new voice cut through the chamber. Ambassador Krall of the Meridian Concordat, representing one of the younger spacefaring races, stood. My people know what it means to develop under the guidance of superior powers. I, for one, understand Earth's choice. The question now is not why they deceived us, but what we do with this new reality. The chamber divided into factions before Sarah's eyes. The established powers like the Luminate and Vorax clustered together, their private channels humming with encrypted discussions of containment and response. The younger species and those who had long chafed under the old order began forming their own alliances, seeing in Earth a potential champion for change. Sarah's neural implant pulsed with updates from Earth's fleet. Ships were moving into defensive positions around human colonies, ready for any potential retaliation. But they were also positioning themselves to protect smaller, more vulnerable civilizations that might become targets in the coming political upheaval. The Council will recess for deliberation, Zixtal announced, his tone making it clear this was not a request. As the chamber began to clear, Sarah received a priority message from Earth Command. Multiple encrypted transmissions detected from Luminate space. Military vessels mobilizing. Recommendation: prepare for possible conflict. Sarah watched the various representatives file out, noting who spoke to whom, which alliances were already forming. The galaxy's power structure had held for thousands of years, maintained by technological superiority and careful manipulation. Now that structure was crumbling, and no one could predict what would rise from the ruins. Araya, she sub-vocalized, begin Operation Aurora. It's time to show the galaxy exactly what humanity can do. Shadow Games. The Meridian Concordat's diplomatic vessel looked ordinary enough from the outside. But Sarah's quantum sensors revealed the truth. Beneath its civilian facade lurked a suite of advanced scanning equipment and prototype weapon systems. The ship had been following Earth vessels for weeks, recording every energy signature and spatial distortion they created. They're getting bolder, James Rivera noted from his station on the Brighton's Bridge. That's the third surveillance attempt this week. Sarah watched the Meridian ship through multiple layers of quantum space, and those are just the ones we're meant to see. Araya. Status report on the covert infiltration attempts. The A's response appeared directly in her mind. 27 confirmed attempts to access Earth's secure databases in the past 48 hours. Sources traced to the Luminate, Vorax hegemony, and 3 previously unknown entities. All attempts deflected. They're testing our cybersecurity. The galaxy had spent the past month reeling from Earth's revelation, and every major power had chosen their approach. Some, like the Meridian Concordat, opted for careful observation and attempted replication of Earth's technology. Others, like the Vorax, had moved straight to industrial espionage and attempted theft. New development, Araya announced. Quantum transmission intercepted. The Luminate are calling an emergency session of the Security Council. Sarah frowned. The Security Council was the real power behind the Galactic Council, where the oldest and most advanced civilizations made the decisions that shaped the galaxy. Earth had never been invited to join, until now. They're finally making their move, she said. Time to see what game they're really playing. The Security Council chamber was smaller than the main hall, with only 20 seats arranged in a perfect circle. As Sarah entered, she noted that each seat was actually a quantum-linked projection point, allowing the true leaders of each civilization to attend from their home systems. High Counselor Zixtal's crystalline form shimmered into existence, along with the representatives of the other major powers. The Vorax Archon, the Meridian High Chancellor, the Neural Collective's Overseer, each a legend in their own right. Commander Chen, Zixtal began, we have reviewed Earth's position in the galaxy with great care. Recent events have demonstrated that your civilization possesses technology that could destabilize the established order. You mean we've proven we can't be easily controlled, Sarah corrected smoothly. The Vorax Archon's mandibles clicked in what might have been amusement. Direct as always. Very well, we propose a compromise. Earth will be granted a seat on this council, with all associated privileges and responsibilities. In exchange, you will share your quantum slip drive technology with the current council members. Sarah kept her expression neutral, but her neural implant was already analyzing the proposal from multiple angles. The offer was both a trap and an opportunity. Council membership would give Earth significant influence, but sharing the slip drive technology would help the established powers maintain their military advantage over smaller civilizations. An interesting proposal, she said carefully. But I notice you specifically mentioned the slip drive. What about our other technological advances? One step at a time, the neural collective's overseer hummed. Trust must be built gradually. Before Sarah could respond, HFY's urgent alert flashed through her mind. Multiple quantum anomalies detected. Unknown technology signatures approaching Earth colonies in 3 systems. Sarah didn't let her expression change, but her quantum interfaces were already streaming tactical data. Someone was using the Security Council meeting as a distraction, launching coordinated strikes, while Earth's representative was occupied. You speak of trust, Sarah said, rising from her seat, while your forces move against our colonies. Did you think we wouldn't detect them, just because they're using technology we haven't seen before? The council chamber erupted into denials and accusations, but Sarah was already processing the tactical situation. The unknown ships were using some form of advanced cloaking technology, different from anything in Earth's database. Their energy signatures suggested they were powered by artificial quantum singularities, Vorax technology, but their movement patterns matched Luminate tactical doctrine. A joint operation, she subvocalized to Earth Command. They're working together. The response was immediate. Defense grid activated. Countermeasures authorized. Show them what happens when they threaten Earth. Sarah turned back to the council, where the denials were still flying. Representatives of the Security Council, let me be clear. The ships currently approaching New Eden, Horizon, and Atlas colonies will be treated as hostile forces. You have 5 minutes to recall them before we respond. You dare threaten us? The Vorax Archon snarled. Even with your advanced technology, you cannot stand against the combined might of the Security Council. Sarah smiled, and for the first time, there was nothing diplomatic about it. Actually, we can. HFY, initiate Project Lighthouse. Across 3 star systems, Earth's defense grid activated. Not the visible orbital platforms and patrol ships, but the real defenses. Quantum matrices woven into the fabric of space-time itself. The attacking ships suddenly found themselves trapped in bubbles of altered reality, their advanced drives and weapons rendered useless. In the council chamber, emergency alerts began flashing as each power received word of their forces' neutralization. Sarah stood, her quantum interfaces swirling with data as she coordinated the response. Your ships are contained, their crews unharmed, she announced. They will be returned once we've finished analyzing their interesting combination of technologies. Consider this a lesson. Earth cannot be manipulated, controlled, or threatened. We chose to reveal ourselves to prevent bloodshed, not to submit to a new form of control. She turned to leave, then paused. Oh, and we graciously decline our nomination to the Security Council. Earth will find its own path forward. As she walked out, leaving the most powerful beings in the galaxy in stunned silence, Sarah received another priority alert. This one made her blood run cold. Unknown quantum signature detected at the edge of charted space. Energy output exceeds anything in our database. Multiple ships, unlike any known design. The game of shadows was about to become something far more dangerous. The new dawn. The unknown ships emerged from quantum space like nightmares made real. Their hulls seemed to absorb light itself, their geometries defying conventional physics. Initial scans showed they were larger than anything humanity or the council races had ever built, each vessel stretching dozens of kilometers across the void. Sarah stood on the Brighton's bridge, watching the tactical displays with Earth's top military leadership and representatives from the very council races that had tried to attack them days before. The threat of these newcomers had accomplished what diplomacy couldn't, forcing cooperation between former adversaries. Analysis complete, HFY announced to the assembled leaders. The vessels appear to be automated. No life signs detected. Their quantum signatures suggest they're ancient, at least several million years old. The precursors, whispered Zixtal, his crystalline form dimming with what might have been fear. They were real. The precursors were a galactic legend, an ancient race that had supposedly achieved technological singularity before vanishing from known space. Most dismissed them as myths, but every civilization had stories of encountering their ruins and artifacts. They're moving, Rivera reported. Multiple vectors, targeting major population centers across all known space. Their weapon systems are unlike anything we've ever seen. As if to demonstrate, one of the massive ships fired on a distant Vorax outpost. The beam didn't destroy the station. It simply erased it from existence, along with a sphere of space-time 100 kilometers in diameter. These aren't ships, Sarah realized, watching the tactical data stream through her neural interface. They're automated custodians, like an immune system targeting what it sees as an infection in the galaxy. The luminate representatives form, pulsed with urgent colors. Our oldest records speak of this. The precursors created systems to preserve the galaxy's natural order. If they've awakened, then they see our civilizations as contamination to be cleaned, Sarah finished. And they have the technology to do it. The emergency channel crackled with reports of attacks across known space. The precursor ships were methodically erasing colonies, stations, and fleets with their reality-destroying weapons. Conventional defenses were useless. Even Earth's advanced technology seemed primitive in comparison. We need to coordinate, Sarah announced to the assembled leaders. Earth will share everything we know about quantum manipulation and space-time engineering. In return, we need access to your oldest records about the precursors. If we're going to survive, we need to understand what we're fighting. The next hours were a blur of desperate preparation. Earth's quantum computers interfaced with luminate crystal matrices and Vorax singularity cores, processing centuries of historical data. The combined fleet of former enemies assembled around Earth, their ships modified with hybrid technology born of desperate cooperation. We found something, HFY reported as the precursor ships approached Sol. The precursor weapons don't destroy matter. They encode it into quantum information. They're not erasing civilizations, they're archiving them. Can we use that? Sarah asked, watching the massive ships draw closer. Yes, HFY replied. Their weapons operate on similar principles to our quantum slip drive. If we can synchronize our fleet's drives and create a large enough quantum field, we could trap them in their own archive. Sarah finished. But we'd need more power than our entire fleet can generate. The luminate representative stepped forward. Our crystal matrices can channel quantum energy. The Vorax singularity cores can generate it, combined with Earth's control systems. We'd have one shot, Sarah said. Miss, and we lose everything. The choice was made for them as the precursor ships entered firing range. Their reality-erasing beams lashed out, only to be barely deflected by the combined shields of the Allied fleet. All ships, execute quantum synchronization, Sarah ordered. Channel all power to your slip drives, HFY. Coordinate the field generation. The space around Earth lit up as hundreds of ships activated their drives simultaneously. Luminate crystals pulsed with energy, Vorax singularities spun up to maximum, and Earth's quantum field generators pushed the boundaries of possible physics. The precursor ships fired again, but this time their beams encountered something new. A quantum field as complex and sophisticated as their own technology. For a moment, space itself seemed to hold its breath. Then reality twisted. The precursor ships found their own archival process turned against them. Their massive forms being encoded into quantum data and stored in a pocket of compressed spacetime. Their weapons, designed to preserve the galaxy's past, became the tool of their own containment. When the quantum storm cleared, the threat was gone. But the galaxy was changed forever. The combined technology that had saved them, Earth's innovation, luminant crystalline precision, Vorax power generation, and more, had created something entirely new. "We should destroy the archive," the Vorax Archon suggested, eyeing the compressed space-time pocket that held the precursor ships. "No," Sarah countered. "We study it, together. What we did here today proves that we're stronger united than divided. The old power structures, the secrets and rivalries, they nearly left us defenseless against a real threat." She turned to address all the assembled leaders. "Earth's deception is over. The precursor's agenda of preserving the past failed. It's time to build something new. A true alliance of equals, sharing knowledge and resources for the benefit of all." The proposal wasn't met with immediate acceptance, but neither was it rejected. The battle had proven that no single civilization, not even Earth with its advanced technology, could face the galaxy's challenges alone. As the combined fleet began the work of rebuilding, Sarah watched Earth rotate below, its blue marble appearance belying the technological giant it had become. The great deception was over, replaced by something far more valuable: genuine cooperation, born of shared survival. The galaxy would never be the same. And that, she realized, was exactly what humanity had been working toward all along. The end.